Welcome back to the pond. So I was swimming around and happened upon this gem of a video by a YouTuber named NERDWORLD. At first glance, this seemed like a normal review about Marvel's Ironheart until I got further in the video and I had to give my thoughts. So let's dive right in. Also, this video was inspired by Pillar of Garbage and the Birdman.
For Carol Danvers, her essential genocide of the Kree Nation is brushed.
Genocide? Genocide? Since she didn't actually watch the movie, let me explain. Captain Marvel destroyed the Kree's supreme intelligence, which started a chain reaction that led to the collapse of their civilization.
I know that sounds bad.
Until you realize that the Kree were the ones hunting down and killing the Skrulls. Captain Marvel didn't commit a genocide, she was trying to stop one.
For Wanda, she's allowed to get away with the mind enslavement of an entire town and is excused because of the apparent grief she suffered after losing vision. The executive of S.W.O.R.D. takes the fall for the crimes that were committed in the small town, and Wanda is allowed to escape into the multiverse until she is called upon to fulfill another girl boss infallible role that Marvel would have her play.
The S.W.O.R.D. director didn't take the fall. He used white vision to try to stop Wanda, which, if you remember, is a crime. That's why Darcy and Jimmy Woo tried to stop the S.W.O.R.D. director. So at the end of the show, he was arrested. Now, Monica could have said something else besides, they'll never know what you sacrifice. As far as Wanda escaping, what does she want to happen? She's the Scarlet Witch, can rival the Sorcerer Supreme, does what she wants and goes where she wants to go. Who is going to stop her?
You?
Of course, there's Echo, who never really had any morals to begin with.
No morals. No morals? You mean the girl whose assistant was killed in front of her? The girl raised by Kingpin has no morals. Shocker.
And is essentially an assassin on the run, choosing different targets left, right, and center. She cares for nothing and no one besides herself and seems to be quite proud of that fact.
She cares for herself. You mean like the man who raised her, i.e. Kingpin? You just said she's an assassin on the run. What assassin cares about anything but themselves? Have you watched any playthroughs of Agent 47?
She begins the show a murderer and ends it as a murderer, and Marvel has no interest in her being anything but, and is essentially an assassin on the run.
Imagine if I had said this about John Wick.
But she's also not the only murderess that Marvel's brought to us in the last little while. We also have Yelena. The movie decided to make her just another hired gun for Madame Hydra.
You mean like in the Hawkeye show, when she was raised to be an assassin? Why would she stop doing that?
The only life form that made it out of that lab was the hamster that she chose to bring with her before blowing the place up. Yelena is completely remorseless about any of this.
Well, yeah, you just said
Hired gun for Madame Hydra.
What else do you want?
And simply acts bored the entire time that she's taking people's lives.
Let me give you the definition of depression. This whole movie is about having depression. This is what the Void is. Bored.
She monologues with a bound scientist about something he couldn't care less about and who is scared out of his mind.
You would hate this Invincible scene. She told him because she's going to kill him anyway. She needs someone to talk to. No, vent to.
Take it to your grave.
The movie would have us believe that this is some great treatise on mental health because Yelena is completely checked out the entire time this is happening. She's grieving her sister, missing her purpose in life, and dealing with an existential crisis about her own place in the world. And the movie tries desperately to have the audience focus on that, as opposed to her many crimes that she never answers for.
Once again, watch the movie. She's a hired gun. Why do I have to keep saying this? All of them are. If she faces her crimes, Fontaine faces her crime. That's why she tried to burn the Thunderbolts at the beginning of the movie.
And at the end of the movie, she is still working for the same woman who tried to have her killed in the first place when she was going around killing security guards and scientists.
Okay, I'll give you that. But you have to remember what Yelena said to Fontaine. We own you. The powers that be shifted from Fontaine to Yelena, so no.
Yelena doesn't care about the lives she's taken. Hired gun for Madame Hydra. Only that she is missing purpose and passion in life.
Becoming a Thunderbolt or an Avenger gave her a new purpose. Not having purpose is what made her feel depressed, or as you put it, bored. Also, they don't care about Fontaine. The Thunderbolts wanted Bob. When they escaped, they wanted Bob. To save Bob. That's why they went with Bucky to New York. To save Bob.
I thought that Echo was the most morally bankrupt character that the MCU has shown us. And that includes characters who had mind-enslaved entire towns and committed genocide, all with no consequences.
Wanda, no consequences? Once again, who was gonna stop her? A bunch of men with guns? And who committed a genocide? I think she's in the wrong timeline. And did she just say she's worse than an assassin?
That's wild.
Instead of showing any type of remorse for any of this, she complains that she doesn't have enough grant money to continue to build her suit.
This is literally a character flaw that other characters call her out on. Did you watch the scene when she was kicked out of MIT?
Additionally, the show is blatant about the fact that she doesn't have any heroes and that her main goal is fame.
When did she say that? Her whole point wasn't about fame. She wanted the money so that she could build her suit. She wanted the suit so that she could protect her family. She wanted to build something iconic. Not that she wanted fame and fortune. On top of that, you try to use the scene of her dancing as if this proves it. Doesn't. She's celebrating because she got the money to fix the suit to save her family. Remember why she started working with them? Because the Hood promised her the money she could get. Then the Hood said that she could make so much more if they work with them. Hence, the celebration.
Tony Stark is no hero of hers, and she intends to be better than he ever was.
She wants to be better than Tony? No, she wants to protect her family. This isn't about fame. She's a genius, so she wanted to build something that could protect her family. So she chose a suit of armor, because they live in the world with Iron Man, who is able to protect his family.
In fact, the only thing that Tony Stark has that Riri is interested in is his money.
Yeah, because she ran out of her grant money to build her suit to protect her fam. I feel like a broken record. Also, people try to use this whole, oh, Tony built this in a cave.
With a box of scraps!
But the red Iron Man suit wasn't built in a cave. It was built in a multi-million-dollar home lab with thousands of dollars of test flights and failure. So yeah, if Tony didn't have the money, Iron Man wouldn't be possible. Let's remember what happened to Mark 1.
The reason she can't be as big as he was is because she doesn't have the wealth to do so.
Refer to the last point.
Never mind that she could have gone anywhere with her intelligence and made a great life for herself. Any tech firm in the world would have taken her with the skills that she had.
She doesn't go to a tech firm because she's not reaching for fame and fortune. She's trying to build her suit. How many times do I have to say it? Did you watch the show?
But instead, Riri thought that that would be playing small and decided to use her new skills she acquired at MIT to become part of a gang and steal from other successful people.
She joined the gang to get money to, say it with me now.
She steals constantly, and not just as part of the gang. She blackmails Joe into helping her for no other reason than the fact that she wants to, because she can.
You mean like her stepfather said to her? That's literally once again a character flaw. And later, Joe blackmails her because of it.
She does things because she possesses the ability to do them.
Congratulations, you just realized you have free will.
To distract from the fact that Riri is a terrible person who is complicit in murder, assault, and other white-collar crimes. She is not a hero or someone to be emulated or looked up to.
She's not trying to be a hero. She's trying to... I'm not even gonna say it.
The hero's journey has been turned into the journey of self-actualization, which is probably the most morally bankrupt story that Marvel can tell.
While this isn't my favorite show, Riri isn't a hero. She takes a deal with the devil to get her friend back. I'm not even a fan of this ending, but this shows us firsthand this first season is not a hero's journey. Now maybe this is just one instance, but she makes similar claims in her other videos about Ironheart.
It's been in every unapologetic, smug, hypocritical, smirking, snarky woman that has appeared on screen. From Captain Marvel to Sylvie to Jennifer.
Why did she show Shang-Chi's sister on screen? She had the most reason out of anyone to crash out the way she does.
The biggest case in point of this is John Walker, whose biggest crime is a kill he made with some unfortunate optics, and then who became the MCU's punching bag in Thunderbolts. We're expected to laugh and mock him for things that really aren't laughable or mockable.
While he does have pain, we're not laughing at his pain. John Walker is a jerk. That's why he's the punching bag.
It has been observed in the MCU that for every prominent male hero, there will rise up a female to replace them that will be better and more talented and more righteous and virtuous than they are. We saw that with Carly Morgenthau.
Why does she mention Carly? She doesn't replace any characters in the MCU. She's talking about replacements, not gender swapping of characters.
Who isn't even really a terrorist by the end of the show she's in, but instead a tragically misunderstood figure who was proclaimed the new Captain America by her cult followers.
Wait, so it's a problem that a cult leader is considered a hero by their followers? If they didn't think she was a hero, it wouldn't be much of a cult now, would it?
We also saw it with Vanessa in the most recent Daredevil show.
How was Vanessa replacing Kingpin? Kingpin came back and started running the show. Vanessa was pushed to the sideline. That was Vanessa's whole point. Poindexter happened under her. Foggy happened under her. But when Kingpin comes back, everyone listens to Kingpin. He was not pushed to the side. She was.
During her time there, she had access to Wakandan technology and was able to build a suit. But when she left the borders of the country, she had to leave the suit behind, too. Does anyone else find this really ironic, considering that the new Captain America has a suit entirely made out of Wakandan tech that he didn't even build, and he's just allowed to use it with impunity in any way that he wants outside of Wakanda? Like, he didn't even build this, and the Wakandans just made it one for him for some reason and said, "Have at it, bro." That seems a little suspect to me.
Either she didn't watch it or she doesn't remember, so I'll remind you. Sam's suit was a gift directly from Wakanda. Riri's suit wasn't. Riri wasn't there on an internship. Their internship in question was just the cover. She was there to stay safe from Namor. Then she built a suit to fight Namor, once again proving this isn't about fame. No one knew about Technocon or Namor, so if she left with a vibranium suit, everyone would wonder where she got it, why she has it. Would you give advanced technology to some college kid? I wouldn't. So why would Wakanda allow Riri to leave Wakanda with a vibranium suit? Sam fought alongside the Wakandans in Infinity War, and he is friends with Bucky. Bucky, the guy who lived in Wakanda for over a year. Sam is a soldier who fought alongside Cap and Bucky. Sam Wilson isn't some random guy off the street. He's a guy Steve entrusted the shield to. So no, they didn't let him keep the suit for no reason. They have at least 3 people that trust this man with their lives. He is very vetted. He's probably one of the most vetted outsiders in the MCU. Also, Riri didn't ask Shuri for help to build the suit because in the show, Ironheart, Riri said she doesn't want to talk to Riri because she sold the car that Shuri had fixed. She feels like she betrayed Shuri in that action.
So, we're having a tech-based hero face off with a supernatural villain with magic? Somehow that doesn't seem quite right to me. But not a lot of things have seemed quite right to me with Marvel, so maybe this is just par for the course.
Iron Man fights the Mandarin, Western tech versus Eastern mysticism, and that's how it's meant to be. One of the things that makes this show interesting, which I'm still conflicted about, is that Riri combines magic and tech.
And speaking of amnesia, she must have developed in the short term as well if she's going to end up working with a person who literally tried to suffocate her to death before she managed to break out of the elevator that she was in. But then, of course, the show just has to constantly remind us how great Riri Williams is.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius. Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
I could chew a lot.
The elevator was a test. Also, she uses all these clips from the trailer of the Hood talking to Riri, so let me add more context. Bad guy of the show, the Hood, says she's a genius because he's trying to convince her to join. When you want someone to join you or do something, you gas them up so that they feel wanted. But in the show, Riri isn't convinced by the words. When that doesn't work, the Hood shows her the money.
One of the most interesting things about these new feminist Marvel shows is they constantly massage the ego of the main character, telling the audience how great they are, how powerful, how iconic and different. Something that I noticed was never done with the OG characters. It was shown to us how great characters like Thor and Steve and Tony were. We never had to be told that they were doing iconic things because the writers were able to convey that in meaningful ways without ever using dialogue.
Cap, Thor, and Iron Man were trying to fight evil. Riri is trying to build something iconic to protect her family. The goals are different, so why would you hear heroes from the past saying anything like this?
And working with the same person that tried to kill her via asphyxiation without doing any type of research into who he might be. All he had to do was stroke her ego and offer her money, and she was down for whatever. Yeah, seems like a real genius there.
Riri knew these guys were sketchy, but she needed the money. She didn't work with them because they said she was great. Once Riri knew the Hood killed someone, she immediately tried to find a way to stop the Hood because the Hood posed a threat to her family. This is the whole reason she built the suit.
At the very least, Marvel seems as eager to get this show over and done with as they did with Echo.
And I'm ready to be over and done with you. These 2 videos misrepresent and lie about multiple things about the MCU and Ironheart. If you like this video, you should check out the Birdman and Pillar of Garbage because they make videos like this all the time and inspired this one. If you want me to make more videos like this, leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and until next time.
Laters, gators.